TalkManRadio Fantasy Football Podcast.
Dayman. Hello, welcome to the TalkManRadio Fantasy Football Podcast. This week we are talking about, we have two subjects. First is this guy and why you should not draft him if he's even on the team when your draft comes around. And if you have drafted him already, see if you can trade him. Second thing is TalkMan talks about Michael Larson. If you do not know who he is, you can go back to the intro and see the timestamp of where to go, and you can watch it then, or you can watch the whole video and wait till I get to it. Very interesting story. I just found out about it, and I was like, what? So I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of the Patriots picking up Cam Newton and what I think about drafting him in your league and where I think he's going to go. First, number one, the pros are he's got experience. He's been in the league for like almost 10 years now. This is going to be his 10th season. That's good. He's got Brian Hoyer and Stidham are the only other quarterbacks on the team. Stidham's second year, and Hoyer's journeyman. Cam Newton's been to Pro Bowls. He's been to Super Bowl. He was an MVP. So he's got that going for him. That's a pro, and you can't take that away from him. And another pro on his side is he's cheap. So here is the deal that Cam Newton got with the Patriots. And, it's a great deal. It's a great deal for the Patriots. Blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Cam Newton's contract, 1 year, $1.5 million base. Just $500,000 guaranteed at signing. So he's got that. Up to $6.545 million incentives per game, roster bonuses, and no clause restricting 2021 franchise tag. Patriots get a former MVP for less money than they pay backup offensive linemen. That's totally true. So you get to kick the tires on a guy. You get to see how he takes, you've got some time now before the season starts, and you can see how he picks up the roster, picks up his teammates, picks up the playbook and everything, and you go from there and you see how he looks in preseason. So for the price you're getting, you spent $500,000, and boom, you get to see this guy and kick the tires on. It's not a bad deal. Now we're going to go to the cons. So the first thing I want to go over in the cons section is this guy was released on March 24th. He's been on the market for 3 months. Nobody wanted him. Why is that? What's the problem? I mean, don't tell me there's not teams out there that can use a quarterback. There's plenty of them. Or at least a backup. But no, I don't think they wanted him because they realized, we want to go younger. We want to go with someone who doesn't have the injury history, which I'm going to get into. But, he's been out there for 3 months, and he could have signed for more. Somebody would have signed for more than the minimum. Okay, he's getting the incentives are $6.5 million, but he could have signed for almost whatever he wanted if he still had something left in the tank that they could have that any team out there could have used. But I think teams want to go younger and don't want to deal with the issues. So let's get into another con. Con number 2 will be his recent injuries and overall injuries. This is a decent article on Patriots Wire. He had his, going over it real quick. I mean, I went over this on Friday night on my show on 12 Ounce Sports. Like and subscribe to them as well. And if you're not subscribed to me now. You can do it. Just press the button and the little bell in the corner. Anyway, he had his first major in 2014. He was in a car accident that year. Car accidents are not great, especially if it takes you out of the season and hurt your lower back. Lower back injuries, there's plenty of people who just can't get right after that. Remember that? So that's an issue. Then, after that, he came back and had an MVP season. But then ligament and cartilage damage in 2018. He avoided surgery, and he played through the injury until the final 2 weeks of the 2018 season, and then he got shut down. And then he was hurt in the third preseason game against the Patriots last year. They determined it was a pedal Lisfranc sprain. Lisfranc is pretty hot when, if the light's right, she's kind of hot. Oh, Lizzie. But not for him. They were going to shut him down. They ended up shutting him down for the majority of the 2019 season. He didn't even play. So these are very recent, and Lisfranc injury is a foot injury. Now, the big thing about Cam Newton, what made him such a weapon, is his legs, his running ability, and using him as like a goal line back in a way, getting over the top, getting touchdowns back in his heyday. He hasn't done that in a while, I don't think. But that was a big part of him, along with his running, which with a Lisfranc injury now and being 33 years old, is he really a threat to run? If he's not a threat to run, that kind of limits how effective he's going to be. Are we going to go with his ability to throw the ball? All right, well, then let's look at that. First off, here's the injury. He played 2 games last year. 89 to 50, 56%, not great. He missed 2 games. I just mentioned that in 2018. He did hit 67%, or 68%, we'll call it. But that is the only time, that is the second time he's done it in his career. 59 in 2018, 52 in 16, 59.8, 61.7 in 2013. So he's been a below 60% accurate quarterback for the majority of his career. So that's not, that's not great. So the injuries, and the injuries could have something to do with that. And he's not. And here's his rushing. He didn't even run that much late. I mean, he ran 5 times for -2 yards. That's not great. Overall, he's 100 times he ran in 2018, missed 2 games. He ran 140 times for a lot of yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, that was huge. But he's not going to do that anymore. Or if he does, he's going to do it very rarely. So injuries, and anybody could have picked him up and didn't. Those are 2 cons. Also, going back to this, he's not the greatest decision maker. As you can see here, interceptions: 13, 16, 14, 10, 12, 13, 12, 17. 182 to 108 touchdown interception ratio. It's not even 2 to 1. But, and one thing, about New England, they're not big on guys making mistakes out there. I mean, Tom Brady, I can't even remember the last time he had double-digit interceptions. I'm not going to go look it up. You can go look it up if you want. But it's probably been a few years. And this guy, you're going to get almost an interception a game out of this guy. They do not like that in New England. Bill Belichick does not like that. He wants guys do not make mistakes. And speaking of bad decisions, here's the last part of the cons part that I'm going to go over right now. So we all know Bill Belichick does not like guys making mistakes on the field. And as you can see here with the interceptions, like I said, there's a lot of them. But he also does not like off the field issues either. In case you don't remember, here's this.
No, there are questions about Antonio. We take all the situations with our team very seriously, and there are some things that we're looking into, but I'm not going to have any comment on any of the off-the-field situations or questions on that. So, anything on football?
So, we all know Bill Belichick wants to talk about football in his press conference. He doesn't want to talk about things that happen in press conferences or any other kind of nonsense that could take the focus off of football. Things like this.
After tying it up there late in the fourth quarter, how frustrating is it to be on the sideline helpless watching?
Next question.
Where does the team go from here, Cam?
And big plays, big chunk plays kind of get to that energy, I think, that you're talking about. Does this offense, and I know you had several at Detroit and New England, do you think you guys have the wherewithal to do that consistently week in and week out?
Next question.
to probably get.
Anything on football?
Who could forget this, too?
I mean, that was the whole game plan. Load the clock, force y'all to throw the ball. So you throw the football. That was the game plan. Load the clock, one-on-one man outside. They got a couple.
Anything on football?
And last but not least, one of his most infamous mistakes.
A lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Sorry, I made a faux pas.
Anything on football?
So all that being said, I think we're not looking at a head case like Antonio Brown, who lasted 11 days. He's not the head case like that. And he's also much more talented than Tim Tebow, who had very little talent but had his head screwed on fairly well. He's somewhere in the middle. I think they brought him in to push Stidham. That's the reason they brought him in there. They got him on the cheap. If you have him in your league, see if you can get rid of him. You could probably get somebody who has, just a raging hard-on for him. Might give you something. So there you go. That's my Cam Newton opinion. We'll see what happens. I ain't drafting him, and I don't think you should either. So now we're going to move on to Talkman Talks. Talkman's going to talk about Michael Larson. Who is Michael Larson? So if you're not familiar, back in the 80s, there was a game show called Press Your Luck. They have a new one now, but it's different. And it was, popular. I used to watch it. People my age in their 40s probably remember it. There was this guy, Michael Larson. You can find it on YouTube. He got unemployed, and he just sat and watched the show for like 200 hours with like a little pen and a paper, and he figured out that there was a pattern to these little boxes that used to light up. So he went out to California and actually got on the show with this thing, and he knew that there was a pattern to it, and they go into it in the YouTube. On YouTube you can find the video, and he somehow got on the show. And in my opinion, he's the first person to, these kids go on there and play video games for money. He's the first person to do it. That's what he's doing. He's basically playing a very rudimentary video game, pressing a button and just picking up cash. It's ridiculous. The whole story, I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I never even heard of this. I used to watch this show. So I'm going to show you some clips right now, but go to the YouTube video. It's an amazing story, and it's actually like very bittersweet and melancholy what happened to the guy afterwards. But he took these guys for $110,000. Never on TV shows back then, game shows back then didn't give away that much. Oh, maybe you got $10,000. You got a trip to Bermuda or something like that. That's about it. This guy took him for $110,000. And he didn't cheat. They gave him the money. It's amazing. I'm going to run you this clip real quick, and then we're out of here.
Bucks, big bucks. I'm going stop. You gotta win. I need lots of money. Come on. Go. Stop.
Stop at $1,250.
Stop.
Stop at $1,250 again. $4,000 on a spin. Michael's going to yell stop for us anytime.
Stop.
Stop at $5,000 on a spin. Oh, wow.
Stop.
Stop at $750 and a spin. Pressing his
Stop.
$5,000 and a spin. Michael, $26,086.
Stop.
Stop, pick a corner. $2,250, $1,500 and a spin, or $2,000, Michael.
$2,250.
$2,250, you got it, Michael. 20. Oh my, $40,000 riding on one spin.
Stop.
Stop at $1,000 and a spin. $42,601. Michael, you want to go again? You've got 4 spins. This is unreal. This is unbelievable. We've never had this happen. Oh, big bucks.
Stop.
Stop at $1,000 and a spin. Oh.
Stop.
Stop at $1,000 and a spin. Highest we've ever had. 44,601. Will he keep it? Stop! 3,000 and a spin. You had $61,000 and change. Oh, nerves of steel. 4,000 and a spin. You have over $65,000. Do you know what that means? You know you have over 65,000?
Not anymore.
You do. What are you going to do? Again. Unbelievable, Michael. Stop at 5,000 and a spin. Michael, you have over $70,000 and you still have 4 spins. You must have rolled 25 times without a whammy. Oh, 4,000 and a spin. Michael, you have rolled 31 times without a whammy. 31 times. You're going to press again? Oh, big bucks, please. Stop! 4,000 and a spin.
So there's more to the story. Go check it out on YouTube. There's an hour and 22 minute long video. Put in Press Your Luck Michael Larson and you'll see it. There's no commercials. They actually made a show about it. It's interesting. Check it out. Go to Press Your Luck Michael Larson. It's an hour and 22 minutes. Or if you just want to see the spins, there's a 9-minute and 55-second video that just shows the spins. It's ridiculous. But the show, you got to watch the show. It's so crazy. They go into the control room and tell you what was going on there. They were pulling out their hair. They were so nuts. It was so nuts what was going on. And the guy makes a point. You got to watch it. Just go watch it. I know it's July 5th, so if you're hungover and need an hour and a half, go check that out. That's it. That's the show. Check me out. Always remember to like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern on 12 Ounce Sports, you can catch my show, Talkman Radio Show Live, on 12 Ounce Sports, on Twitter and Facebook, on all the social media outlets, and Zingo TV, channel 761. That's where 12 Ounce Sports can be found. Check it out. That's the show. I'll see you later. Have a good one. I hope you had a good 4th of July. I ate ribs. All right. Bye-bye.
Anything on football?
Hey, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow Talkman Radio on Facebook and Twitter, and kill that like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, everyone's team sucks but mine.